Good morning, everybody. Jayy here with another War of the Visions video, and we had some massive news drop in JP right after I went to bed last night. That is the arrival of the Final Fantasy VII collaboration, which means us global players have a new pin to put in the calendar. So let's talk about what that means for us, our accounts, saving the units, all that stuff. We're going to get to that right now. Okay, so obviously the huge news coming out of JP last night, right after I went to bed, Final Fantasy VII is coming. It's coming at the end of next month for JP players, which means we're on about a 4-month timer, maybe 4.5 months, until we get that in global. Now, there are a ton of really good things coming to global between now and then. I know a lot of people who are planning their accounts around Auronnj, around getting Tidus's vision cards, around King Mont, Black Rose Helena, all of those amazing units and vision cards that we're going to get between now and then. So what we're going to do here, we're going to take a little look at the in-between time from this moment until we anticipate Final Fantasy VII coming, and I'm hoping this will help you guys get an idea how to budget your Visior between now and then if you're wanting to go hard for Tidus, for for the mystery character that got teased. Like, we know Tifa's coming, we know Tifa's going to be free in JP, we know Tidus is coming, that you're going to have to pull for him. They kind of tease a mystery character. So there might be 3 Final Fantasy units that we're going to have to try and go for. We need to look at what's between now and then to get an idea of how much Viz we're going to need. So let's start that off by looking at Auronnj and Tidus's vision cards, which are coming up in the next week or so for global. Okay, like I said, obviously the best place to start is what we're going to have to tackle the rest of this Final Fantasy X event. Now, if you're a Tidus enthusiast, if you've been looking forward to him, I'm going to call these 2 vision cards on the screen his vision cards. You have the MR card on the left and the UR card on the right. Now, the MR card is a good card. I don't know if we're getting that like for free, if we're going to get like all the shards from it for a bingo board. I really hope we are, and if we are, that'd be an easy way to save some Viz, and everybody should do it. Now, the UR card, I'm just hoping for a guaranteed step up for it, because I think this UR card is going to almost be necessary if you want to run some like massive damage, crit your face off Tidus builds. So if you're planning on that, you're going to need to set aside, I'm thinking at least like 10k to pull the thing, and then maybe more Viz to fish for shards to find it. But we don't know yet. But plan on that if you're planning on getting Tidus. Then we also have Auronnj, who, if he's as brutal to get as Yuna, guys, you might need as little as like 2k if you're insanely lucky. You might need as much as like 20, 30, 40k if you're bad luck. I know so many people are looking forward to him, me included, and I don't have 50k set aside to go get Auronnj and max him. So I think the rest of this Final Fantasy X event is going to be a Visior drain on us. And if you're like me and you're just married to finishing this event off and getting all this limited stuff while we can, I'm probably looking at being at 0-ish Viz after this event. And the rest of this video is going to kind of explain why that's a problem. And we're going to get into a little bit of the things that like made JP angry and kind of turned Gumi into a direction where they are looking to be a little less money hungry over in JP. I don't know. I don't want to talk about the JP side a ton, but let's look at what's coming after Final Fantasy X, or maybe even during the tail end of Final Fantasy X. Okay, the Final Fantasy X event is over. Now this starts what I call the like hell stretch. What do I mean by hell stretch? What I mean is we're going to get a bunch of stuff, some of which is double cost, that is going to be a massive hit to people's Visior if they go for it. And this will be the beginning of people recouping their Visior between Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy VII. I know 4 months or whatever is going to seem like a long time. It's not. We're already seeing how much Viz it's taking to get Yuna and to get Bahamut and Tidus done, and we have Auronnj still to go. With Final Fantasy VII coming, you guys, you know you're going for those. Like, people know they're going for Final Fantasy VII units. So, here's the beginning of Hellstretch. I'm going to call this April 2021. I'm going to have 2 April 2021 slides, because these people on the screen right now, 9S, 2B, also known as Stopwatch and Evade Robot, and these two vision cards were originally supposed to be March releases for global if we stuck straight to JP's, release schedule. We obviously don't, so these are at least going to be into April and may come out during the Final Fantasy X collaboration, or at least while it's still active. In my opinion, let's start with the vision cards. Rob's vision card. If you run Light Evasion Rob, go for this card. If not, it's probably a skip. That'll save you 10k viz and save you the viz you'll need to max it. Then you have Omega down there on the bottom, which is a very powerful dark vision card and a very powerful physical attacking Esper. Has light killer on it, stuff like that. Now, if you run a bunch of dark teams and you want that magic resist for your dark teams, you want HP up, slash attack up, then go for this card. If not, there's another 10k viz you can put in your wallet and save, and okay, you've dodged a couple Vizior bullets. Now, what about the Nier collab? In my opinion, this is going to be the most impacted thing by the announcement of Final Fantasy VII in global. I've already seen people on Discord changing their names from 9S to something about the Final Fantasy VII release, indicating to me they're going to skip 9S. Now, we're getting Stopwatch up there for free, I think. So still build him, but you might consider skipping your Evasion Girl unless you're planning around it. Guys, don't listen to whatever I say all the time. If you were just going for 9S all the way or 2B, go for them. But otherwise, in my opinion, those are going to be big skips and the beginning of people recouping their viz from Final Fantasy X. Okay, let's go to the other April slide now. And okay, this is the beginning of the massive Vizior hit people were preparing for after Final Fantasy X, and that's King Mont. King Mont, a double cost unit in JP. Now, maybe they'll hook us up in global with single cost. I can't see that happening. I think he'll still remain double cost, and he's an amazing tank. He's an amazing tank. I know a lot of new accounts who don't maybe have Warrior of Light or Agrius or something like that were kind of targeting King Mont as my after Final Fantasy X target. The thing to keep in mind here is with Final Fantasy VII, we're also getting another FFBE collab unit in Charlotte, who looks like a really amazing single cost tank. That's a long wait. If you're a new account and you don't have a baller tank right now, I think you still might want to go for King Mont. Keep an eye on what kind of banners he has. If they're going to give it to us like they gave us Dwayne, where we could just go purchase Dwayne for about $40, then I think you still want to go for Mont. If not, if it's a massive chase, if it's this current Bahamut banner we're going through, you might consider waiting for Charlotte. Just a thought. Now, Mont also comes with a vision card that you kind of need to get if you're going to build him. You can see that on the screen. You're also slated for April, which these will probably again be pushed back. You have the Phoenix vision card, which is another powerful fire-based vision card. Gives Pierce attack, dexterity, magic resist to the group. You see that on the top middle, and then on the top right, you see, the dude who simps for Mashuri's vision card. It's an Earth-based vision card, and I don't know, what the banners are going to look like for these cards, but, consider those if you're thinking about it. Then we also have another unit we were slated to get in April, and her name is Lure, or at least it was something like that in JP. She's another calculator-based unit with really good sub-jobs who look like she's going to do a ton of damage. So check the banners, but don't get sucked into that. You might need to stay strong and pass on those units, especially if you already have an Ildira or somebody who can serve as that high magic farming unit for you. Okay, so that's what we were supposed to get in April. That's a ton of stuff, and obviously we're not going to stick to that schedule. A lot of these will be pushed to March, but let's look at what the March release schedule was also going to be. Okay, yeah, so oops, I said March on the last slide. I meant May, because May is the next month, and I'm going to assume you guys were big brain enough to know that I made a gaffe there. A gaffe? Is gaffe a word? I'm not sure, but I'm going to stick with it. Now, for May, I don't want to project much farther than this woman on the board right here. This is Mama Helena. She's a unit so many people in Global are excited for, and she's another double cost unit. You can see the trend here of these double cost units that made so many players on the JP side mad, and is going to tempt so many global players into dumping their Vizior, dumping maybe the money they have aside for Amazon coins or something into these. And guys, I'm telling you, with Final Fantasy VII on the horizon, you know how hype it is for these collabs, and you know you're going to want to do it. So, be aware. Just be aware. There are these double cost units coming, and they are going to tempt you. If you are in for Final Fantasy VII, you might just need to pass on them. You might just need to pass on them. Mama Helena's an awesome mage, but you guys, there's mages in this game. Now, if your whole account is like, no, I play Garvel, I play Dark, I need that mage, here's your girl. Go get her and just be happy with your account. You might miss on some of Final Fantasy VII, although, even though this is as far as I'm projecting out in this video, there are things after Mama Helena before Final Fantasy VII. But maybe, what's that, 1 month, 2 months? That's not enough time to save up 80 to 100k viz, which is what you might need to get all those FF7 units, especially if there is that like secret teased unit in there, like Aerith or somebody like that. So, I don't know how helpful this video is going to be to anybody. I just needed to get my thoughts down and out there about the Final Fantasy VII announcement because I'm so excited for it. And previously I was so excited for King Mott and Black Rose Helena. And I don't know if I'm going to go for them, or at least if I'm going to go as hard for them. I imagine the temptation is still going to be there for a lot of us, myself included. And I will probably do some polls, but before I hit the credit card, I'm going to keep Final Fantasy VII on my brain. And that's my big tip today. Keep it on your brain. If you stayed strong for Final Fantasy X and you're just cashing it out right now and you're loving life, remember that high you're getting now and then stay strong for 7. Because Final Fantasy VII is so many people's favorite game and it's going to be so awesome. Okay, that's all I got for you today, guys. I hope this was useful in some way. Like I said, this is just kind of a stream of thought thing for me. Thank you all for watching. If you need some Amazon coins for the rest of this Final Fantasy X event, or King Mott, or whoever's coming out when you watch this, please do consider using my Amazon coin affiliate link. Helps the channel out so much. And I will see you guys in the next video.